In this video, Dana Hatchett discusses the feelings of colors.
All right, these particular designs are going to be three parts, the three sizes of color aid, okay? Very small, medium, and larger, okay? Now I want you to look at this brown, and this video is going to really start relying on your sensations of it. I want you to feel how it feels. Now I'm going to come out and I'm going to show you how this orange starts to change how it feels. Now these are a little lowered the same way Joseph Albers lowered his cubes, okay? Are you starting, as a subjective viewer, I want you to start to feel how it feels different except when it's in its separated parts, okay? So now there are three elements in here. I start to see some reds develop in the orange, and the orange brings out a kind of a purple or something, or a kind of a bluish color in the brown, okay? That's my sensation of it, all right? So there are many different ways to start to look at color, and I think it's good to look at color holistically. Just look at a lot of it, okay? Now here's a slightly muddy green gray, okay? Now, when this blue goes down here, how does that gray appear different? How does it feel to you? Now try to sense the feelings of it, of this stuff in your body. How does it feel? How does it feel to me? Now we'll come down to a yellow down here, and there is no right or wrong answer. It's just becoming sensitized to the idea of how it can happen. The yellow is very different than the blue and the kind of grayish green.
Well, okay. You mean I see, well, there's two different kinds of greens and then a yellow. Mm-hmm. So it's not. So even the words we have for what colors we see affect how we relate to them.
Exactly. But it's a specific subjective experience that the viewer has, okay? The yellow is very different, and it ignites the activity and draws these two analogous colors, meaning they're close to one another on the color wheel, okay, together, okay? So it's just about looking and feeling the experience. Now this is kind of a very pink, kind of acidic color of pink, okay? Now I'm very sensitized to it, so I see blues in there and all kinds of stuff. Now I come down with the orange. You see how it's really very kind of like very electric? Like I can see blue going around the outside of it. And things happen also where the colors will sink into the background colors, like is happening here. The kind of orangish, reddish color sinks into this pink, which becomes more pink because the color is taking itself out of the background color, okay? And here we have a contrasting color, a sharp blue. Now, when you look at these, try to look at them holistically, look around them. Just sort of be in the moment with these things, okay?
And I would say probably to also let go of your conditioning of what colors mean by, so pink for a girl, blue for a boy, that isn't part of this. This is really just being present with the color you see, right?
Yes. It's actually very meditational. Now this is starting to develop a sense in the viewer of not having to be thinking about a whole lot of stuff, just experiencing them, okay? You experience the green, how it feels. Now when this brown comes in, that's kind of harsh. It comes in there and sets up a kind of contrast with the green in the background. It's these edges are sharp. Now we'll come in with the blue. You see how it becomes something of an ensemble of colors? Poems just need a few parts to become visually poetic. And I'm wanting you guys to be able to start feeling the colors around you.
So what feeling would you get from this color combination?
Well, for me, the brown and the against the green and the blue against the green have a different kind of edge, boundary. And I'll be talking a lot about edge boundaries because edges tell you a lot about where things sit in space.
Well, and for me, I see the blue as not really having much of an edge in the brown, as opposed to... So the feeling I would get is more of a looser feeling of the blue rectangle. Doesn't seem as solid as the brown one does. You know, it's just a sense of even more movement with the blue.
What's really interesting is, I've said this before in some of these videos, what the camera sees is not what I see or what Debbie sees or what the viewer sees. It's something different, but it's all color, so it's going to see something, you know, because it's an algorithm. There's some kind of strange algorithms that come into play. This is a nice gray. Isn't it a kind of a soft, soothing color? What happens to that soft, soothing color when it is contrasted with a kind of matte black? And now a yellow to contrast with that even further. For me, the yellow sets up a sense of, from my own observation, where the black and the gray start to harmonize together. They go into a kind of part, and it happens in a lot of Albers' homage to the squares. He'll have a color that sets off two other colors and sets them in motion. But it doesn't even have to be words. It's just visual feeling.
So we're not even talking about emotion here. We're talking about the experience of color and feeling whatever arises.
Yeah, it is emotion too. I mean, I believe that color is some of the most emotional medium, one of the most emotional mediums there are, because we feel it. I feel these things in my body. I feel them in my chest. I feel them in just various parts of my body, because it's a kind of... Color is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. Now, in this case, the green is a familial color, but it's kind of reversed. The green would be on the outside, the blue, and then the yellow. So now the green, this green has this blue and this yellow in it. So there's a kind of, it kind of sinks and contrasts in a certain way for me. And all of this stuff, to every viewer out there, this is about you and your experience of color, chroma. Hair on there, okay? All right. Now look how this muddier red against the cleaner red in the back feels kind of like the sensation of blood, maybe. The sensation of coagulation of blood or something, okay?
To you.
To me.
It more feels like brick.
Like brick? Yeah, like bricks. See how lovely that is? And it's the way they sit.
The dark green actually looks greener on top of that than it does on white. Say, on white, it looks, well, it isn't even green, but it looks greener.
It looks green here once in this environment. So this is the way that color is relative, because the red is pulling the red out of the black and leaving the green. Okay? Now, so for you, the viewer, and for us, it is a unique subjective experience. Now, for me, there's a lot of activity between this yellow and this green. There's a blue that's being pulled around in there. And now we'll come in with a warmer green and see how it makes the green in that other, the cube, the middle cube, it makes it more blue because it's pulling those blues out of it, okay? But it's also about feeling. It's a kind of, one more. Okay, here's the last one, guys. All right. This is a slightly different kind of paper. I think this is from some kind of printer's stock of paper. It's kind of roughened because it has little pinholes in it. Okay. Now, I think this is very exciting. To me, that is a very exciting color combination because the balance of the black and the brown really become very vital and kind of breathe a little. Now, once again, to create contrast and variety and keep the mind entertained, the green here.
So what would you conclude this video with about feelings and color? What would you say about feelings?
Feelings come out in a lot of different ways. I think people express their feelings through the clothes they wear. People sometimes, it's even in the language. You know, this is a red hot situation. There's a lot of emotion. A person is feeling blue, or a person is feeling kind of like, or a person could think about what they might imagine chakras feel like, different levels in the body. I think color is a very, very emotional medium.